everybody, and welcome into another edition of Jags Live, presented by Eco South Services. We're live from Walk-Ons, as we are every Wednesday. JT Crabtree and Pat Greenwood, and we've got some great loyal Jag fans down here joining us here as well. We've got still a lot going on campus. We've had a lot going on this past weekend, and football will head back on the road here this weekend.
Well, we talked about it in a preview that I don't know if it's been posted yet, but it's going to be. We're going to wear white jerseys. First time this season. You know, our only other road game, we had the white jerseys in the closet because Auburn had the white out. So we get to wear the white jerseys. I think red pants, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not 100% sure. We got to wait for the uniform reveal that'll come out. But it's going to be good just to get on the road. Let's put last week behind us. And we know what kind of football we can play.
Yep.
Let's go out to Texas and show them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a trip that we've made before, although it's been a while since we've done it, over to Denton, Texas, to take on the Mean Green, obviously a former Sun Belt Conference member. Last one out there back in 2012. That's the only time we've ever been to Denton for football, and they've been playing some good football lately.
Yeah, well, the preview that we talked about, look for it online. It was kind of cool. I got a chance to go back into the archives, and it was 2012 when we played, and Kendall Houston was a guy that scored. We had the old Jag head on the helmet. It's nice to see that old video. And we played pretty well back then. That was our first year of D1 football, and North Texas was a pretty good football team back then. We lost by 10, but we competed. And so you fast forward to 2025, and this North Texas team is a lot like the one we saw last year, especially offensively.
Yeah.
They'll put up the points. They'll put up the points in a hurry. In fact, we've got the defensive backs to talk to later today. They're going to be tested early and often. I think they're up to that challenge. But no, North Texas is a very good football team, 4-0. But they're also they can be vulnerable.
Yes.
We were talking about the Army game last week. They had a huge lead on Army. I kind of stopped watching it, preparing for our game.
I did too.
I look up and wait a second, they're in overtime.
Yeah.
So they've got cracks in the armor. It's not that's not an unbeatable team by any stretch. And I know more than anything, we are not happy, clearly, with what happened Saturday. And I know those guys, as competitive as they are on both sides of the ball, I can't wait to get back on the field, man.
Yeah.
You know, especially when you have a game where you didn't meet expectations. You want to get back on the field and let's go play again. And no better challenge than going on the road, get in the hotel, get away from everything, and let's go play some football against these guys. And, we're, I think, double-digit underdogs. Awesome. Awesome.
Bring it on.
Yeah, let's go play. Let's go play. I'm ready.
All right, I'm going to test our knowledge here for a second because you were talking about the result from 2012. And Brian writes here. Brian, you might be able to help us out here too. So was 2012 the matchup? Was that the game where we had a late touchdown that the Sun Belt refs messed up and they had to issue an apology?
I thought that was Texas State.
Maybe it's Texas State.
Yes,
okay.
I think that was Texas State
All
because we didn't score in the fourth quarter and it was a 10-point ball game. But the Texas State game, they scored late, and yeah, I think that was Texas State. But Texas,
I had the right state. At least.
It all runs together, man. We owe Texas a bunch.
We do. We do. We actually, Tyler Roper pointed out to us, we have not won in the state of Texas since 2011, since we defeated UTSA in double overtime back in the Alamo Dome.
I remember that game.
So we definitely need to go over there and get some payback and check some boxes over there.
Yeah,
we'll go to take on the Mean Green over in Denton. We've got soccer and volleyball going on this week. Soccer is on the road for the first time since the season opener when they played LSU to start the year over in Baton Rouge. But they had a positive result this past weekend. They got a really good win over Coastal last Thursday where it was, 3-0, 20 minutes into the match?
And it was 2-0, 6 minutes in.
Yeah.
I mean, Andrea Ilkic scored, and then you look up and she scored again. We had barely gotten the replay off of the last goal, then all of a sudden she's scoring again. So they're playing great soccer. Got a good win at Southern Miss, 4-0 over the weekend, and then they're into the mountains. They'll play App State this coming weekend.
Yep, they've got them on Friday, so best of luck to Chris Hennessy's squad. They are rolling right now. They're playing some really good
and
ball.
they're having fun.
They are.
You know, that's the thing. We talked with Andrea on a podcast a couple of weeks ago, and they come out of the locker screaming, and they're enjoying themselves, playing some great soccer, and that usually translates to wins.
Yeah, they kind of amped up the yelling before the Coastal game last week. It was okay. You hear them coming out. It's like, oh, they're still going. Oh, they're still yelling. They were definitely having some fun. Well, Soccer's still on the road. Volleyball comes back home this weekend, and it's a big one coming up in Jag Gym this weekend.
Yeah, some Troy. I've heard of them before. I don't know exactly where they are, but no, Troy will come into town Friday and Saturday. Friday at 6, Saturday at 1. And of course, as we always talk about, all those games are free. Great atmosphere in Jag Gym. Troy's not done well. We're 5-6 overall, but our competition has been extremely good. Troy, I think, is coming in at 2-6. Doesn't matter when you play Troy,
Sure.
and your starting conference play too for volleyball. So a lot at stake, but I really like the team that Jesse has put together. We got some studs on that roster, and so I'm looking forward to seeing what they do this weekend. Yeah,
it's Greek night on Friday. I mean, we were already going to have a nice crowd, but Greek night mixed in there as well.
That's cool.
Jag Gym's going to be absolutely rocking.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, get out there and support them Friday night, and then if you can't make it to Denton, Texas, we'll have a call, of course, on the Jags Radio Network.
It's only a casual 14-hour drive. Hop in the car and come join us over
that's
in
easy.
But 6 o'clock on Friday for volleyball, then 1 o'clock on Saturday for the second game of the weekend against Troy. So best of luck to soccer and volleyball, and then, of course, football coming up with the Mean Green. 11 a.m. kickoff, another early kick. Pre-game coverage starts on the Jags Radio Network starting at 9 a.m. The game's being nationally televised as well on ESPNU, so we've gotten plenty of big TV exposure this year.
Yeah, and a lot of people watch game day, and then they'll flip over and see what other games are on. So we're going to be the ESPNU pick. And I like the 11 a.m. kick.
Yeah.
I thought we played well in the 11 a.m. game or 11:45 technically against Auburn. It's you don't sit around the hotel all day and what do you do, and let's take a nap, and oh gosh, I don't know what to, let's get out there and play, man.
Yep.
We're here to play football. Let's get up, let's roll out of bed, let's get on the bus. I think it's about a 45-minute drive from the hotel to Denton, Texas. So get at them, and then let's go, man. This is a great opportunity for us this weekend.
Flying into Fort Worth, staying in South Lake, which is just north of the DFW area, and then, like you said, about a 45-minute drive north up to Denton to take on the Mean Green. We've got a full show here this evening. We will talk some defense. We will talk, of course, some offense. Talk whole team with Major Applewhite coming up in the second half hour of the show. When we come back, co-defensive coordinator Jason Washington will join us. He's on the way next. It's Jags Live, presented by Eco South Services, and we're coming right back. All right, let's talk some defense for South Alabama. Co-defensive coordinator Jason Washington joins us now. Coach, appreciate you coming down here. Good to see you.
Glad to be here. I appreciate y'all.
I want to talk about something. Part of your job is also recruiting. That's a big part of your job. We'll get to that here in just a little bit. But just overall, first year at South Alabama, how's it been going so far?
It's been fantastic. First, just the city of Mobile has been great for myself and my wife and family. We've enjoyed just the opportunity to be around this city. South Alabama, the university has been incredible. The students, the administration has been great. They welcomed us with open arms, and so I can't thank them enough, and can't thank Coach Applewhite enough to allow us an opportunity to come and be a part of the family.
Evaluate our defense through the first 4 games.
I think defensively, number one, we've competed. Our biggest thing that we talk about is going to compete and trying to grow each and every game, and it's been of utmost importance amongst our entire defense to make sure that we improve each week, from tackling to leverage to just playing together as an entire unit. And so I think as we continue on and go through this path, I think we're going to continue to get better and just continue to work and improve on our weaknesses.
The word you said there, grow, is really what stuck with me. Is you can tell this unit is growing week by week. There is progress being made across the board.
Yes, I definitely agree on that. And we always talk about it. It comes to practice. Our practice habits will lead to hopefully championship effort out on the field. And so that every week, it's of utmost importance from our leaders to all the way down to the freshman and scout team that we always have to give good looks, because what you put in practice is what's going to develop on the field.
Well, luckily you've had the chance to take this week off, because North Texas doesn't know what they're doing offensively.
No.
They can't score. No. In all honesty, look, this is probably one of the biggest challenges of the year. We know that going in. Talk about what North Texas does, and how in the world do you start to try and defend that?
First, Eric Morris, their head coach, does an unbelievable job. I have utmost respect to him and his offensive staff and that entire team. I think for years, as you can go through his resume, you look at just his offense each year. Last year, I believe they were number one in the nation offensively. And so I think they do a variety of different things of putting guys in stressful situations. And our biggest message to our guys have been we're going to have to win some one-on-one matchups. And they got skilled guys. I think it starts off with their quarterback. They got a quarterback there that can make all the throws, but also makes really, really good decisions. And so we got to take advantage of making sure our technique, making sure we win on one-on-ones. But at the same time, when we get them behind the chains, we got to get off the field on third down. And so I think scheme-wise, you're going to see something similar to last week, kind of an air raid concept where he comes from Mike Leach and that type of stuff. But at the same time, they do a good job in their run game and creating some gaps and being able to create some positive yards. So we'll have our hands full, but I know our guys are excited about the challenge.
You've got some Texas roots, don't you? You've been over there a little while.
Just a little while. Just a little.
For the folks at home maybe don't know, can you kind of talk through your football journey before you got here to South?
Absolutely. So first, I played football and baseball over at Texas State. And graduated. Yeah, I know, boo. And graduated there. Thought I was going to go be a professional baseball player, and obviously that didn't work out. So decided to get into the guy that recruited me out of high school, a guy named David Bailiff, became the head coach over at Texas State, and so that's where I got my first opportunity at Texas State coaching corners. So I stayed there from 2004 to 2007. Left with him to go to Rice University in Houston, Texas. Stayed there for 4 years. Left and went back to Texas State under Dennis Franchione, and so I was there, and then left to go to the University of Houston with Tom Herman, and that's when Coach Applewhite and I first worked together. He was the offense coordinator. I was special teams coordinator and corners coach. Stayed there 2 years, then went with Coach Herman to the University of Texas, so was there for 3 years. And then the past 5 years, I was at Mississippi State with Michael Leach, coaching safeties and did a year at running backs. And then I was off the field as a player development past two.
So seeing that air raid up close and personal all the time, how much did that help you as a defensive coach to say, okay, this is what they're trying to do. How do I try and solve that puzzle?
It helped tremendously. Just being in that system and seeing it for a couple of years and that type of stuff, I was able to really get with our offensive staff, and of course being on the coaching running backs, I had a chance to really kind of dive into what they were trying to accomplish each time. And it was neat just kind of listening to Coach Leach and listening to that offensive staff just talk about just the ins and outs to them being successful. And it was always just being able to control the ball, and a lot of the decisions and stuff came from that quarterback, and how good your quarterback played. That's what really made that offense really roll.
All right, now I get to ask you about the recruiting portion of your job. Recruiting's a grind, man, and you guys get after it. And I know that there's certain things you can and cannot talk about recruiting-wise right now, but just it is a grind. You got to love it, right, to get after it.
You have to. You have to have a passion and a love for it, and it's not just you; it's everybody in the entire organization. From coaches to support staff to athletic trainers to my wife and family and kids and stuff. And I think that it always boils down to communication and relationships. How well do you communicate? How well can you get an individual to believe that you could take them to a place where they don't think that they can take themselves, but at the same time also knowing that you'll always have their back and help them hopefully reach their goals and their dreams. And so I love recruiting. I'm thankful for the two guys that I got here, and just love the process and love getting to know individuals and what makes them click, and hopefully being able to dig into their lives to make them not just good football players but better people.
And when you talk to these young men, what makes South Alabama an attractive place to come play?
First, we talk about just having an opportunity to grow and having an opportunity to play. And our biggest thing is that as they hopefully get an opportunity to step on campus, of understanding the teamwork, the family atmosphere that we have, we're going to dig in their lives on every aspect that we can possibly can, because we want to watch those individuals grow. And it's not, I always say your actions speak louder than your words. And so we want to always put those actions into and make it real for those guys. And so I think, number one, that's the big thing. We are real with our guys. We want to make sure that we're honest with them and give them every opportunity and feed them with as much information to hopefully allow them to either blossom and go to another university, or hopefully once they finish, they can come back here and have pride in South Alabama and being able to be a student athlete here.
When you're coming from one program to another and then you're trying to quickly turn around and connect with these kids and sell them on a program, for you, how quick of a turnaround was it to try and figure out everything that you could about South Alabama and Mobile?
Thank goodness the internet really helps.
Sure.
So my wife fed me she gave me a big booklet, and she was like, here, read all this. So I started reading up on it, and obviously with Coach Applewhite and our relationship that we have, he did a great job of selling. I mean, it was incredible. And Julie and the rest of the family. And so it wasn't very hard for me because I knew from being in the past and coaching, I knew what type of guys South Alabama had. And how Coach Applewhite runs his program and the demands and toughness and that type of stuff. And I'll never forget when I was coming over from Mississippi State, big thing being a coach, you pop on the film and you want to watch their style of play. And I told Coach Wyndham when we spoke on the phone, I said, hey, number one, I popped on that film, and what I love, man, I love seeing y'all fly around as a defense. And that really, really sold. So just knowing them in the past, knowing the guys, the people that they recruit, obviously Coach Applewhite and what he's about and the program that he runs, it was a no-brainer for me.
And you got Nehemiah and Javon right behind you. Talk about those guys and what they bring to the team. Their ears perked up all of a sudden.
First, I can't say enough about those two individuals. They're number one, great young men. They have a work ethic. They love to compete. They come, they bring it each and every day. I'm demanding on them, and they take it all in. They soak it all in. They ask questions, and they want to be the best, not just for themselves and their family, but also for South Alabama and the fans and that school. And so I can't thank them enough for allowing me an opportunity to dig into their lives to hopefully help them grow and reach their dreams and goals. And so I've been proud of them. They've had to grow up very, very quickly, and not just them, the rest of that group, because the experience when we came was small. And so I always tell them, hey, we got to grow quickly, and we're going to go through some heartaches and some stuff, but through growth, there's going to be discomfort through it. And so if we're able to respond from that and put ourselves in the right position, things are going to continue to elevate.
I'm sure when you talked about that experience there, you had a group that returned 0 starts for South Alabama. Right. I guess was there a sense of comfort almost coming into it? It was like, hey, we're all on the same slate here. It's all the same page between you guys and you coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I told them, I was like, hey, we're all new to this. Everybody's got a clean slate. Let's go out. Let's go compete. And let's see where the chips may fall. And it's not a situation where, hey, you don't have to go out there and be nervous. Go out there and be yourself and go out and play and have fun doing this. And I always tell those guys, remember back in the day when you were young and you were playing out in the street and doing all that stuff, you could stay out there for hours. And I said, and it was fun. And your mom or your loved one was calling you, hey, telling you to come on in. And I said, it's got to be the exact same thing when we approach practice, when we approach meetings. You got to work and find something to work to get better and always understand your why. Why are you doing this, and how can I help you get to where you want to be?
Jason Washington, co-defensive coordinator for South Alabama, joining us here from Walk-Ons. Jay Wash, appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate y'all. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, Coach. Good luck this weekend.
Go Jags.
All right, we'll take a quick timeout. We will continue Jags Live, presented by Eco South Services, when we come back. Appreciate co-defensive coordinator Jason Washington joining us from Walk-Ons. Jags Live, presented by Eco South Services. Time to talk about our student athletes now this week. Cornerbacks, Nehemiah Chandler, Javon Henderson. What's going on, guys?
How you doing? How you doing?
What's up? Let's talk about just Nehemiah. We'll start with you. Both guys, first season at South Alabama. How's it been going so far?
It's been going great for me, man. The biggest thing was opportunity for me coming in, competing for the spot, and I won the job. And coach just gave me the opportunity to capitalize on all my opportunities, and I'm trying to be the best I could be for the team.
Yeah, just to piggyback on what Nehemiah said, opportunity coming in, having to come in, get ready with the scheme and being with the coaches, getting with the team, getting right with them. So at that moment, I was just really grateful for the opportunity Coach Applewhite gave me because, I could come in, be a leader, and get the team going on some things.
This is not a fair question because he's sitting right here. Is Jay Wash that nice? Is he always that nice?
Nah, he a great dude.
We have some hesitation here.
It be the things we mess up on that he constantly tell us that we've been working on since the summer started. Well, since I got here, that he harp on all the time. That it be the small things that we mess up on that get him rowdy. Like, being a football player, things gonna happen. So he don't really get too loud about those things. But when we mess up them little details, that's when he irate.
Yeah, and those little details, he's gonna be honest about it all the time. But as a coach, he's supposed to do that, and he does a really good job on keeping us on track. Making sure that every day we got to keep these things right, corrected. So on Saturday we can be on point on what we do.
And y'all can still play. He likes that answer.
Yes,
so there you go.
Well, obviously both of you guys are in your first year here at South Alabama. Nehemiah, we'll start with you. Just what attracted you? What made you want to come down here and be a Jag?
The location. My mom, right up the street from here. Coach Applewhite is a great guy. I could have went somewhere else for the money or whatever, but it wasn't really about that. He had a heart-to-heart with me. He's down to earth. He's a down-to-earth guy. He tells you the truth. He's always honest with you, so that really stirred me here. And that's really it for me.
And, to piggyback on what he said about Coach Applewhite, when I came in and I was in the transfer portal, all his coaches and everything, they were rushing me to make a commitment, what I'm going to do. But Applewhite, he gave me time to think about it. I felt like, more of a family thing than just we got to get you down here just for a spot. You feel me? So,
yeah.
So that's why I really.
Yeah, that's one of the best things. What really had my heart was when we was sitting in a meeting and he was like, wait a minute, where's your mom? And I was like, but she's not here with me. She let me do these things on my own now. He was like, call her, get on the phone. And that was one thing, all the visits I did take, none of them did that. All they care about was me. So, he a family-oriented guy, got on the phone with my mom, and she was like, well, that's somewhere you need to be. And I was like, it's the place.
That's awesome.
Yeah, very cool.
Yes,
Evaluate the defense so far in these first 4 games.
Ups and downs. It be the small things like tackling and everybody getting to the ball, population, and the havoc plays. We got to have those. The first game we had a lot of havoc plays. That's why it was a lot of turnovers. So that's why we won the game. And it's just, that's my opinion.
Mm-hmm. My opinion is, like you said, a lot of ups and downs, but just being on the same word, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just being everybody on the same communication, So now we go out there, we have everything, all our checks, all our reads, so we can play faster as a unit.
You've got a lot of new guys in your position group, not just you guys, but just as a whole.
Yeah.
Take us through that group. What's that group like to play with?
It's great. Everybody came in and, everybody, I talk about doing your 111. If everybody goes out there and does their 111, we can win a ball game. And we just all got to buy in. And that's what we do. When we play to our highest, that's when we win. But when we go up and down, it don't go right for us.
Yeah, just like you said, everybody has a job that they have to do. Everybody has a role. So, if you fit that role, you do that 100%, we'll be all right.
Javon, what kind of player is Nehemiah?
Oh, Nehemiah, he's a go-getter for sure. He going to go, he going to work, he going to be in there on time, he going to be attentive, he going to ask questions, and then when he go in the field, he's going to show. Every Saturday, it's going to show. He going to shine.
Same question to you, Nehemiah. What kind of player is Javon?
Javon he played with his hair on fire. He one of those guys, when things go wrong, he wears heart on his sleeve. So he don't like when things go bad, and that's what I like about him. He's passionate. That's why I can play next to him. That's guys I surround myself with, is passionate guys. I love the game. So if he doesn't love the game, I don't want to be around him.
Mm-hmm. What do you guys like to do away from football? As little time as you do have, but a little bit of time.
We've been playing 2K all day.
Hey, another thing is about being down here at South, we go hit them jet skis.
Hit the jet skis.
Okay.
Me and him, we hit the jet skis. Yeah.
Coach Applewhite didn't hear that. No jet skis.
No.
It's okay. All right. All right. As we get ready for Saturday, obviously this is one of the bigger tests we'll have because their offense, they're going to throw early and often. First of all, and we'll start with you, Javon, just the challenge, man. I would think that's fun, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's go. What do you have for these guys? What do you see in them, and what do we have to do?
Okay, what I see in them is, a fast, more intensive offense. They have a really good scheme. One of the best schemes we'll probably see all year. So we've got to be on point once we get there, get all of our stuff together. And then I would say what they're going to expect from us is, we're going to be very intentional. We're going to be all, like I said, on the same word. So then once we get out there and they're going fast, we can already be there and be right. So we will never flinch.
I like it. That sounds good to me.
That's good to me. Yeah.
Nehemiah Chandler, Javon Henderson joining us here, cornerbacks for South Alabama. Guys, appreciate you coming down here. I think
yes, sir.
Appreciate it. Nice job.
I think maybe your food beat is getting here now, so let's get you out of here.
Go Jags.
Go Jags.
All right. Javon and Nehemiah join us down here at Walk-Ons. Take a quick timeout. Head coach Major Applewhite will join us when we come back. Well, welcome back to Walk-Ons. Jags Live presented by Eco South Services. Appreciate Javon Henderson and Nehemiah Chandler joining us down here. Head coach Major Applewhite is with us now. Coach, appreciate you coming down. Good to see you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Let's start off by talking about those two guys. What have they brought to this team so far this year?
Well, they're both brand new, but they both play the game the right way. They love the game. They want the opportunity to play. That's why they came here. They saw obviously the absence of corners and wanted the opportunity to come play. But passionate, passionate. Different stories, different backgrounds in terms of just where they played high school football, family. But when you sit and listen to them and you hear their story, you understand their motivation, and you understand why they're passionate, and they don't let plays slide, and it means a lot to them.
Well, when you see these guys, we saw it in the linebacking core last year. Guys needed reps,
yep.
and we're seeing that in the defensive backfield now. They're getting reps, and they're getting better and better and better because you can practice, you can do this, drill that.
Right.
Nothing beats game reps, right?
You can't mess with experience, and there's only one way to get it, and that's to do it.
Yeah.
And they're getting better by the day. They're getting better as they stay through this system. Would have loved to have had, these guys in spring training, but you get them in the summer, and this is the first chance you get to work with them, is on August 1. And you're like, listen, we got a game in 30 days. So, that's part of the, part of the growth process in this portal situation. I think that's going to be relieved here pretty soon. I think people realize how bad that was for college football this year. For it to happen one extra year was just really just people sitting on their hands, letting other schools get bought off at parts. So it's just bad organization by the NCAA and just laziness in terms of just getting real rules and guidelines going. But nonetheless, you get guys in, and now they have to start gaining their experience, and sometimes, unfortunately, it's on the job. But at the same time, some of these guys that are gaining experience on the job are still doing a pretty good job.
Let's talk about Jay Wash, who was down here just a couple minutes ago. Obviously, you had some prior work experience with them. Just how great has it been to have him back on staff now?
Yeah, I mean, it's like any of us at any job. When you've worked with people and you've been through the ringer, that 13-1 season at Houston, we went to the Peach Bowl and beat Florida State, was not an easy year. It was a hard year. People think 13-1 and think, wow, it was great. It's like, no, there was a lot of long nights, hard conversations with offensive staffs, defensive staffs, head coach demanding. It's exhausting. It's physically and mentally exhausting when you have a season like that. But when you go through that type of season with someone, you learn a lot about them. They learn a lot about you. And when you have a shared experience like that, especially as a manager, you're like, okay, I know what this guy has been through because I've been through the same thing. And he understands the same standards that I'm trying to implement, and I need more alignment in terms of what we're doing.
How has the week of practice been this week?
It's been good. It's been good. Tuesday is always, if you talk to coaches, Tuesday's the input day, right? That's when you put in everything. So there's going to be, some wrinkles, some new things. And that's always the challenge with the team. I talked to them on Monday. Hey, Monday night, game plan should be in for your first and second down. You come in, you see it in the meeting room. The great ones can take it straight from the meeting room to the grass and own it on day one. The great ones. They study well enough on Monday and Sunday to where when they get introduced those plays, they understand why and where and when and how to do it. Some guys aren't as quick learners, and so that's why we call it Bloody Tuesday. Sometimes there's some mistakes and there are things that we've got to come back on Wednesday and clean up. But I thought we did a much better job today of coming back, cleaning up those mistakes. There's things that we make. Yeah, we think this is going to be a good play. Then we go put it on the grass for 2 or 3 reps, and it's isn't working out the way I want it. We need to get this out or change this split or change this personnel. So Wednesday's practice, today's practice was great. I was really pleased with it. The guys are working. I mean, that's probably the biggest thing that people want to know is like, wow, after you lose to Tulane and you lose to Auburn, you have a disappointing loss. Like, how the guys work? They're working. That is not us at all. The moment we had this morning is we talk as a team sometimes in the morning. Sometimes we go straight into it. I just wanted to bring them in and say, listen, I talked to you after practice about North Texas and how good they are and where they've improved from 119 on defense to top 50 on defense already. But they're still 9th in the country in total offense. They haven't moved up, but there ain't much room to move up. So those are facts. Now I wanted to talk to them more about just who we are and the brand of ball that we've been playing, and understand that 4 minutes at the beginning of the third quarter and 4 minutes into the fourth quarter doesn't define you. Now we've played some good ball, but we've got to fix those errors, and we've got to understand somebody's got to shut the valve. If we go out there and go 3 and out, then Lex give us a good punt. If Lex can't give us a good punt, then we got to stand in their defense and hold. But we've got to understand, and it's more parental than it is coaching. Yeah. Quite honestly, I want to make sure with young guys with playing experience that you have the belief in you that I have in you, because I think we're pretty damn good. When we're playing our brand of ball and we're playing discipline, I think we play with anybody. But when we pass the baton, mistake to mistake to mistake to mistake to mistake, we can be as bad as anybody. And that's part of learning and getting that maturity and that experience of somebody stepping up and making a play or a side of the ball holding serve. And all right, I know y'all went 3 and out, but we forced them to a field goal, and we're only up 4 now. Or you know what, they missed the field goal. So I know y'all had a bad series. Now y'all need to get going again. We've got to play more complementary during those time periods, because it was one side made a mistake, then special teams made a mistake, then defense made a mistake, then offense made a mistake, then defense made a mistake, and it's like at some point, guys, there's going to be points scored in that. So that was frustrating, but that's what we talked about this morning. They're working well. They had a good practice.
You're talking about preparation-wise. Just what people say, they go watch film and whatnot, but what does that mean for you guys? Like, what resources do the guys have to be able to go and prepare and watch what another team has?
Well, they've got their phones, their iPads, their personal laptops. Everything's coded through passwords. We create our cut-ups, so each position coach is going to have what those kids need to see. They're just not going to turn on the Western Michigan or the Washington State game against North Texas. It'll be broken down into finite cut-ups. I want to show you just their first and second down calls. I want to show you just their 3rd and 3 to 6 calls. I want you to see just their red zone calls from the 11-yard line to the 4. Or I want you to see just their goal line calls from the 3 inside. Because all those situations are different. Those are all different situations. You got to put on a different cap and think differently about all those. So we'll send those out and get those sent over, through the Thundercloud XO system, and they'll click on, and every coach has those things. Notes that we take in the meeting rooms. That's something that we always do as coaches. It's no different than a teacher. Every day, every so often, about every 6 weeks, hey, everybody pull out their notebook. Why don't you turn your notebooks in? I just want to see what kind of notes you're taking. See if what I'm saying is getting written down and how you're processing it. But those are some of the tools. We're big on walkthroughs. Just kinetic learning, just being up, walking, moving. When you're sitting, you're telling your brain to rest. So a lot of our, I want our coaches up in meeting rooms. We're not lecturers, we're presenters. We want to be enthralling. You got to make it interesting. There's a lot of things that grab kids' attentions now. So those are all the things that we use for tools. If
I remember correctly, you guys have a way to monitor who's watching how much film, right?
Yes.
Who are some of the guys that are in there all the time?
And that's a little misleading, because you have some guys like Zach Pyron. He watches film at home, but he also, he lives a certain distance, so he'll sit there in the building and just watch on the actual, computers there itself,
okay.
Which that doesn't scale. They've even got devices that, locks video screening. So if someone was to get one of our players' passwords, they would be able to watch it, but they couldn't record it. Same thing with players. They can't record your film and send it to other places. But, yes, you can monitor how long somebody's been watching tape and all that kind of stuff.
So you don't just show up on Saturday and play football for 3 hours?
No,
I thought that's what we did here.
You say that, Pat. One of the coolest experiences when I was a GA, when I was a player, we did it too. But Mac Brown did it in the spring, and we do it here at South Alabama. Is we ask all the players to invite their favorite professors over for a lunch during spring ball.
That's cool.
And so all the professors come over, and it was the same thing when I was at Texas as a grad assistant. I was waiting for the players after practice to shower up, and I was already with the professors over there at the lunch, and a handful of them are like, it's amazing, Major, how much they have to learn in a 50-minute meeting, and then right out there at practice they have to remember all that stuff, and they have to. I'm like, yeah, it's a class. It is a class. It is a scheme. It's a system. It's a lot of learning. It's a lot of processing and processing while you're getting hit and you're being tired. So there is an element to it. That's very. That's what we call ourselves as coaches, but really we're teachers. And you've got to find a way, a progression, and I'm no different. I put my notes up on the board like I'm a history teacher in high school, and this is, the 24th of September, and this is 7:15 a.m. And first thing we're going to go over is third down plan. Then we're going to go over the protection rules, and and take notes like a player.
Yeah.
Like a student.
Do you remember from your playing days the teacher you brought?
The teacher I brought, it would have been somebody that I had a bad grade in. I think Dr. Jan Todd. She was in kinesiology there, and her husband was actually a strength coach trainer. Okay. He was a doctor himself, and the guy that he trained was Mark Henry, the WWF wrestler, Sexual Chocolate. So Sexual Chocolate would come lift in the weight room down there, and I would see her husband, and he told me that he was her husband. I thought that was pretty cool. I was 19, 20, and got to meet Mark Henry.
Yeah. So never thought we'd have Sexual Chocolate on Jags Live. That's
there
awesome.
There you go. Get you some. There you go.
Did it help your grade?
Absolutely.
More importantly?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's all that counts, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll take a quick timeout. We'll continue previewing the North Texas matchup here when we come back. Jags Live, presented by Eco South Services, returns in just a moment. Back here at Walk-Ons, Jags Live, presented by Eco South Services. South Alabama hits the road this weekend to take on the Mean Green of North Texas. 11 a.m. kickoff from Denton. Coach, I mean, obviously, we've been talking about offensively, North Texas good. Defensively, they've made some big improvements. I wanted to start there. We saw them last year. Defensively, though, they're very different this year. How are they different?
Well, the first thing they've done, the scheme is completely different. Completely different. They based out of a 3-down, 3-safety look, similar to what we saw last week. Not the same, but similar. They're away from that completely. They'll play a 4-down front on most downs. Passing situations, they'll get in some odd front, 3-down front. A lot more pressure, about 50% pressure. And it's backers, it's safeties, it's corners. I mean, it's 1 and 2 times. And then there's some looks that not just pressure-wise, they'll just completely come after you. They'll just completely come after you and try to get you knocked back behind the chains. They've done a great job of recruiting. They've done a great job in their NIL, truthfully, and done a great job bringing in great talent. And that's why they're 4-0 and beat Army at their place.
But offensively, they're about the same in terms of just weapons and air raid and throw it down the field, and they're going to put points up in a hurry if they can.
Yeah, there's no doubt. They play fast. Mestmaker, the quarterback, is really good, really good. He might be the best quarterback we've played thus far, and I really think that the young man at Auburn's really good, but I think this one might be the best one we've played thus far. He can throw the ball from anywhere. He can sit in the pocket. He's got great feel, great presence in the pocket. There's a throw he made against Western Michigan out of the back of his end zone, Dan Orslowski style, except he stayed in bounds and threw the ball about 20 yards down the field on the sideline. It was unbelievable. Just getting almost got thrown into the uprights. I mean, he got pushed that hard, but made the throw. He's an incredible player. Eric's always done a good job. He played for Mike when he was at Texas Tech. He's a little bit younger than me, but he's always done a really good job of expanding that offense, adding some run game, getting the tight end implemented. Number 6 is a huge part of what they do, their tight end. 10, 22, you'll see them, 0 the back, 1 the wide out. Just a lot of skilled players, and they play fast. They're very confident in their scheme.
And they use so many different guys. It's like 18 different guys have caught a pass this year.
Yeah.
It's hard to account for all those guys, right?
Yeah. There are some things that they will specialize and say, okay, we want to get the ball to Pat on this play, and we want to get the ball to JT on this play. And then there's some stuff like, hey, just get to the line of scrimmage and run this play as fast as can. If Pat or JT catches it, who cares? We don't have to always specialize everything, and everything's a one-way street in terms of when we throw this play, we throw it to this guy and all this kind of stuff. If you're going to be a receiver, you got to be ready. You better have your eyes open. The ball can come to you.
At the same time, how do you balance, especially when you're telling this all to the team, how do you balance, look, these guys are good on both sides of the ball, but at the same time, they almost let the Army game get away. They had a huge lead. Army came back. They battled till the end against Western Michigan. They're not invincible at all.
At the end of the day, you just got to play your best game for 3.5 hours. You focus on you, and that's what we talked about at practice today. Guys, brought you in this morning to talk about this because I feel it as a coach and as a parent. I just want some of you may not need this talk. Some of you feel very confident in who you are. Some of you, but some of you may not. And it's important, I think, as a coach to tell them I believe in you, and and whether they all needed it or they all didn't need it, they needed to hear that. But when we got out there at the practice field, it was like, we got to get back to focusing on us. Focusing on how we practice when we play our brand of ball. I don't care whether it was Auburn, we're playing with them. We're playing our brand of ball. We play with 2. We got to get back to that instead of, wherever your mind may be. I don't know where it is. I'm not, I can't figure all that out. But we need to get back to focusing on ourselves and how we're playing. And that's when you put your focus on that you don't think about those other things. We've played good teams before. We're going to play a good team this weekend too. And we've played great against good teams, and we've played mediocre to terrible against teams who may not be considered that, and it doesn't matter. It matters who plays the best for those 3.5 hours. You know, and I remember sitting in the Rose Bowl when we got ready to play Michigan, and I was 2004, and I was a grad assistant. We had probably the best player in college football in Vince Young, but we hadn't won a game like that, and we're getting ready to play Michigan. And Coach Brown tells the team, you don't have to play perfect. You just have to play better than them. And for these 3.5 hours, and that's it. So, you know, whatever that you've heard from Keith Jackson or the people at the Home Depot game day, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. These next 3.5, 4 hours, that's what's going to decide it.
When you were saying, like, you don't have to give, or maybe some of those guys don't need a speech like that and whatnot, where does that kind of feeling out process start for you to kind of figure out where this guy might need a little bit more? No, this guy feels himself enough. He's all right.
Well, that's what I was telling him this morning. I said we've all had individual conversations, but this is a collective conversation.
Yeah.
You know, and some of you may not need this. You know, and after practice yesterday, I threw out some stats that are daunting in terms of what North Texas has been capable of doing thus far. And guys, if you took that as I'm trying to scare you yesterday after practice, I'm not. I'm just trying to draw your focus. We're getting ready to play a good fight. You know, and we're capable of fighting that fight. And if some of you got lost at you should be worried about these stats, no, that's not it at all. I'm just trying to make you understand who you're getting ready to go play. We're certainly capable of beating this team too, but we have to play our brand of ball. We have to play discipline. We have to take care of the football. We can't come out of the third quarter and play the way we did. We can't finish the game the way we did and expect to beat a quality opponent like that. We've lost to 2 quality opponents. We've seen why we've lost to those 2 quality. And I'm not saying Coastal Carolina isn't. All right, but anybody with half a brain would say when you go play an SEC team, they're pretty damn good. Okay, so let's just call it what it is. But we lost to 2, you know, quote unquote on paper quality opponents, but we still played well in those games. We had some things that we need to work on if we want to win those ball games. And Coastal Carolina is a quality opponent, but we didn't play worth a damn for about 8 minutes in that game. All right, so that's why that game got away from it. But it was a close game up until we decided we wanted to turn the ball over inside our own 20. You know, shank a punt, not play good red zone defense 2 drives in a row. That kind of game will get away from you.
11 a.m. kick. We already have some experience with that this year.
Yep.
I like that. You get out of bed, go to the stadium, let's play. What do you think?
I love AM games too. It's better on our team, especially when they're away. You know, because you're getting ready next week to get back into conference play and play your rival. And so the last thing you want to be doing is getting on an airplane at 11:30 at night in Denton, Texas, and flying back and landing at 2 a.m. You know, and guys going to bed at 3 and you just start off the week on the wrong foot. So it's good that we'll have a chance to be back at a reasonable time. Guys will get good sleep and recovery, and then we'll be ready to roll for Troy.
Can you take us through the trip here? It's our first flight of the season, so a little bit different logistics-wise what we got to do coming up on Friday.
Well, because it's such a quick turnaround, usually the guys have an AM walkthrough, and then there's a gap, you know, and then they come back at about 4. We have a meeting, then we head over to the hotel downtown. But now because of the flight, you know, we always want to make sure there's no weather and those issues, so we leave a little bit early. So we'll meet at 8. We'll have a walkthrough from about 9:30 to 10:30, have about an hour break in there, come back at 11:30, have our meetings, and somewhere around 1 or 2, you know, go to the airport, get on the flight at 3, land at 4, 4:15, 4:30, get over to the hotel about 5, 5:30, have a staff meeting. We usually have it the day of the game, but since it's an early AM kick, we'll have it Friday afternoon. Then we'll have our normal Friday meals. Instead of having that staff meeting in the morning Saturday, that allows the guys to sleep in a little bit later, so we'll have our walkthrough at 7 a.m. And once we get through with walkthrough, we'll have a brief meeting for about 5-10 minutes as a team. Then we'll go in and eat at 8, and then we'll get on the bus and we'll head over to the stadium.
All right. 11 a.m. kickoff between South Alabama and North Texas. Head coach Major Applewhite here from Walk-Ons. Coach, appreciate your time as always.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for
man.
having me. Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
it.
Thanks,
All right.
JT.
Good luck this weekend.
Yes, sir.
We'll take a quick timeout. We'll wrap up Jags Live this week from Walk-Ons. It's Jags Live, presented by Eco South Services. We're coming right back. Appreciate everybody coming down here for Jags Live, presented by Eco South Services.
Got a good crowd tonight too.
Good crowd, very good crowd.
Loud.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, we like it. We like it down here. It's been a fun one here this evening over here at Walk-Ons. Be sure you can join us here next week, week after that.
Then it's going to get a little
maybe
murky
the week after
because
that.
then we start getting into the weekday games and a Tuesday game and a Thursday game, and yeah, it'll be kind of interesting.
Yeah,
pay attention to your socials.
Yes,
and we'll let you know when the shows are.
We will play it by ear for a couple of weeks in there, but nonetheless, we appreciate you coming down here and supporting us down here at Walk-Ons every week, and it's been fun to be down here. This is year 2, being back out in the crowd and whatnot, and we want to get out and have an opportunity to kind of get out in front of folks again because we COVID and everything kind of resetting, so it's been nice to get back out here.
Well, and then you got the $5 burger deal, which my kids are over there, and I told them that they're to eat the burgers, and I will pay for it. I don't know if they're ordering off the menu or not, so I'm about to look at the bill when it's all said and done, and we'll see. But, $5 burger deals down here, and, talk some Jags football and get ready for another big week.
Yep, 11 a.m. kickoff here this weekend against North Texas, and we got Got a message from Brian Wright, mentioned the first
Yeah.
part of the segment. I was correct.
Yeah, you were right.
It was the
You
North
were right.
Texas game in 2012 where we had a weird replay situation and they overturned the call incorrectly, and the Sun Belt Conference had to issue an apology. So I remember that from 13 years ago, but
Yes.
not what I had for breakfast yesterday.
But ask Auburn how much that helps after
Right.
the game's over.
Right, yeah.
The apologies from the conference don't do a whole lot, do they? Doesn't change the outcome.
Neither does 10 sacks in the first
True.
half. But
That's a good point.
That's neither here nor there.
Good point.
But anyway, big game coming up here this weekend, big challenge, and you love the opportunity. As a competitor, you just want to go out there and have another shot at it.
Well, and the thing is, again, if you look at the Coastal game, everybody was disappointed.
Sure.
And none more disappointed than the players and the coaches. Okay, any fan you talk to, I promise it pales in comparison to what those young men and that coaching staff has gone through going through that game. But if you look at it objectively, and Major said it, it was at 8 minutes to start the third quarter that it just absolutely got away from us. We didn't play great in the first half, but we had a 14-7 lead, and I fully expected us to come out in the second half, put another touchdown or two, put some distance between ourselves, but then mistake compounded by a mistake, compounded by another mistake, and it just built up, and then all of a sudden you're looking at, a double-digit lead that you're trying to force issues, and that's football. That's why you play the game. So I certainly think that we are capable of going into Denton, Texas this week and handing them their first loss of the season.
Yeah.
I think we are very capable of going to Troy next week and keeping that belt here in Mobile.
That's right.
So it'll be interesting to see how we react, how we play. But I always talk about those first 5 to 10 minutes. We've got to hold our own. We cannot get behind early. Armory got behind 28-3 at one point. They were able to fight back and make it a game, obviously, and push it to overtime. I don't think we're built that way. I think we need to get off to an early start, play some pretty good football to begin with, and just don't make mistakes.
Yep.
If we don't make mistakes, we're going to be in any game against anybody we play.
11 a.m. kickoff this weekend, 9 a.m. pregame coverage on the Jags Radio Network. For Pats, I'm JT. We'll see you guys next time from Walk-Ons. It's Jags Live, presented by Eco South Services. Jay's up. Go Jags!